Alright guys, hello and welcome back. It is time for the Group B for the European round robin stages. This one's gonna be the Papis facing off against the Moonmen.
Yeah, and who does not want to see a Puppies game straight up from Group B? This is always the best way to start it off. Ojoboom Ula, we had a throwback to that from one of the earlier groups. And look at that. Look at the Ula band coming through from the guys on the side of Moonmen. They do not want to see an Ojoboom Ula.
No. It's just one of those facts of life. You ban it against them or you will regret it in very, very short order. One more band to come out for the Papis on this one. We'll see what they look to take off the table. Still a lot of supports available. All the junglers available as well. We have not seen too many support bands, or Circuit, not support. They both start with an S. It's close enough. It is going to be Athena taking another one of those kind of ambiguous picks off the table. She can go basically anywhere but the 80 carry rolls, which still means she can go to any lane, any jungle position. So it's going to be Bellona getting locked in by the first pick for Moonmen.
And focus on towards those flex picks. I know that we've been focusing a lot on talking about flex picks over the last couple of weeks, but it is so important. You have a flex pick in your first round of drafting is like the most important thing to do. Picking up Athena, why is Athena so strong? She's a decent support, you can run her there. She's a decent jungler, you can run her there. She's a decent solo lane. If you want to run her mid for whatever reason, sure, go ahead. You can pick her there, so long as your mid lane player can play her. So that's the purpose of picking up a Bellona. You can run her in the duo lane, even if you want to. You can run her. Everyone here knows that you can run her in the jungle lane and the solo lane. But picks coming through from the guys of the Poppies.
And let's face it, Bellona, if Kiki gets bored enough one day, he'll probably just run her there for the hell of it as well. So that'll be a thing then at that point in time. But otherwise, it's going to be Sylvanus, Janus locked in on the side of the Poppies. Janus, I don't say he's an ambiguous pick necessarily. He can potentially be thrown over to the solo lane, but mages really not seen over there too much these days. We saw Hell early on today. It worked okay, but they were able to shut it down off just with jungle pressure coming out onto her, so it can be a rough pickup. They're looking at Apollo and Geb right now for Moonmen. I saw it earlier. Phales was in chat, basically spamming the word Arachne. I want to see Arachne get played just because I love the aggressive assassin style stuff coming out of the jungle. I don't know if we'll necessarily see it, but I'd love to actually have it happen.
I don't think we'll necessarily see it either, but I've been playing a bunch of Arachne even myself this week, and it's strong. It has a lot of potential. There is potential to go for it. You know, it's very... The problem with picking Arachne is that she's very single-minded, right? And that means that you have to run tankiness elsewhere on the map. But the other option is that you can pick up an Arachne here for the guys on the side of Moonmen, and you've also got Bellona. And then you wait for the opposition to pick their solo laner and their jungler, and then you run it wherever the heck you want. If you want Bellona in the solo lane to counter out that matchup, run Bellona in the solo lane. If you want Arachne in that solo lane to counter out whoever's in that solo lane, go ahead and do that as well.
Yeah, well, while nobody likes spiders in general, Sylvanus is probably really the only mobile target so far on that lineup. So to actually pick it up against his team, Janus just go through Portal, avoid it, Bastet, leap away, avoid it. The lineup isn't looking like it's a favorable set or picking situation for that Arachne. They did get the Bastet, however, and Agni was banned out, as was Medusa, so taking that one away from Warchi. The Hunter play coming out of Poppies is something real to keep in check, and it looks like Moonmen are well aware of that and making sure they don't have to deal with either one of those gods.
3 Hunter bans. Well, I mean, Neith is a flex ban, but, you know, let's call her a Hunter, which is what she was designed as. 3 Hunter bans from the side of Moonmen. That's more than enough info to how strong the Poppies are, right? And look at this. They're even going to throw an Anhur over to Warchi. They're going to throw an Anhur over to Warchi. He could do that. He could do whatever the heck he wants. He's Warchi. He's on the Poppies. I'm so keen for this game.
There's the actual Anhur lock and Scylla getting picked up as well. There's a roster change, I believe. I'm not sure if it's a roster or name change for the Poppies. Suelo is not going to be playing today as David Arne is filling in for him instead. The rest of the lineup is intact. It's also going to be Hercules getting picked up on the side of Moonmen for their final pickup this game. So, it looks like it's going to be Jungle Bellona. We don't see too many Jungle Hercules coming out. He's probably going to be over in the solo lane, but Jungle Bellona can offer a lot of pressure to the map. Hammer Bash, it does a lot of damage. The Eagles Rally, it's a very short cooldown. It's a utility aura effect, as well as having a decent bit of pressure coming out with that, just for that stun if you land it dead on the center.
Wow, Ojoboom is going to be on Chaac. Now, we have seen, I think it's Myrmidons. I'm
Yep.
95% sure it was Myrmidons are
Mogao.
the only team to run... Yeah, Mogao. The only team to run a successful Chaac. And one of very few teams to run a successful Hades because it fits his playstyle.
Yep.
This, I really want to see from Ojo Boom.
It's all down to taking the fact that he's a lane bully early on and turning that into map pressure. Up against that Hercules, yeah, Chaac can stay in lane sustained fairly well and just kind of sit there for a long while. But if he looks to do that into the long game, Hercules late game and even mid game is going to have a much larger effect on fights, so Ojaboom has to make sure he's rotating around the map and joining fights for mid Harpies, and possibly even making rotations over for the Gold Fury fights early on, so he's having an effect and making use of the fact that he's a very strong early mid game god and falls off later on.
This also might be to pick from Ojo Boom because the Hercules was on the table coming through from Moonmen, right? Hercules has got a lot of kill pressure in that early lane. We did just see how effective Hades was at doing that, but Ojo Boom, I don't really recall him picking up Hades all that often.
No.
It was very, very minority pick that was, and I don't think he was all that successful on it. Chaac kind of runs along a similar line, but has a little bit better early damage, right? He can jump in and the silence is there across the entire team. Silencing up a Scylla, that's trouble.
Yeah, and possibly knock up as well if he can supercharge it with an axe down on the ground. We'll find out exactly how he plays this one out here in just a few minutes, guys. The match is ready. We'll be jumping straight on into it. Stick around. We'll be back in just a minute or two with the first game out of Group B. Alright guys, hello and welcome back. Moonmen facing off against Papis for the first game out of Group B for the European Challenger Cup Week 6 group stage round robins. It's a long title. And, yeah, it's a long title. I had nothing to go for, or to segue out of for that one. Grouping coming out, running into two members of Moonmen right now. It's Hercules and a point to Gnome, not in a great spot. Hercules gonna take the brunt of the chase. There's the damage coming out, looking for these slows. Shield Bash picked up for a little bit of extra distance. That's gonna mean slower jungle clear, but they're still looking to lock down this kill.
Yeah, if they can get that decoy back up and the cooldown refreshed on towards failures, but starting to pile in, come the Moonman, a driving strike from a point of Gnome, 2 against the wall, Archangels, oh! Rapio! Rapio, son, you beast! And Moonman pick up the first kill of the game.
A little bit of an overchase coming out from Moonmen on that one. From the Papis on that one. Moonmen, the rotation coming in to respond to it. Hercules was able to live long enough on the back of picking up that shield bash. That tiny little bit of extra distance plus those block stacks kept her up and alive. They also had no real way to lock her down once the slows had worn off. They didn't have the grab. Did they have the grab? They have the root. They had the root. They didn't have the grab to pull her back in. The root, I don't believe, actually ended up hitting in that chase either. Warchi, same type of situation. He went for the Impale, not the Shifting Sands Pillar. You had to have Bellona between a wall and Warchi to actually apply that stun. The situation wasn't there, and because they chased as far as they did, they ended up losing first blood instead of getting it themselves.
Yeah, at least, for them, they will manage to grab both their buffs. Nothing else. It's literally just that. They lose no time on the map, only first blood gold, and all that jazz. But something I'd like to draw your attention to. I was just peeling through the stats in between our God Select and getting into game. Papis and Moonmen have only played each other in Challenger Cups this split once. Guess who won?
This is a trick question. Yeah.
Moonmen beat the Papis. This has only happened once. So unless these guys are scrim partners, they haven't played each other in a long time, and the last time they did, Moonmen were the victors.
So we'll see if that's a repeat of that one. Right now, they have a small early game lead with that first blood pickup. Other than that, things looking pretty standard so far. Buffs have all been picked up. Everyone's arrived in lane. Junglers have made their rotation to mid as well, but a minute and 30 seconds off of those mid Harpies spawning for the first time this matchup. So we'll have to see. I mean, look at these team comps as they stand right now. It is going to, that Chaac, like I said earlier, Chaac is really the one key thing on the side of the Papis. If Ojamoon can really make that work and be a presence in these fights that are going to be happening in just about a minute and 15 seconds for the first one, that could be a really nice pick for the team. But if he ends up sitting there farming up with a Pointed Gnome, later on a Pointed Gnome is going to be the real big team fight menace when Chaac is really not going to be offering too much.
Yeah, that's the big fallback of having a Chaac, right? Hercules has the mitigate wounds. Chaac has his rain dance, but mitigate wounds increases healing depending upon, how much damage you have taken. Chaac's is the same. It's flat. You're not getting any increase, right? All he's got apart from that is a knock up and a silence. Hercules has got stuns and he's got a huge burst of damage. You gotta watch out for that.
Yep. So, another game, another matchup of the Transcendence Rush on Anhur. to the Death Soul Devourer's Gauntlet start coming out from the Legends Apollo. What is your opinion on that matchup? What are you favoring? What's your feelings on the itemization for hunters these days?
If they can make it work in the early portions of the game, right? The reason that you're picking up Transcendence early is so that you can get into those stacks. You're trying to beat out the opposing hunter. What are you trading for that? You've got a lot more potions, so long as he's not landing autos on you all the time and you're landing some decent sort of poke. Dalo mid lane though!
1 for 1 so far as Phalles answers back the kill that they picked up in the King Toad. They could potentially look for David Arnaz right now. Actually, some role swaps we'll cover in just a moment here. Eagles Rally drop down for that stun, now trying to get his way out of this jungle. He's going to be able to survive. That's going to be the question. The Wisp will be healing himself back up as Warchi makes rotation just to impel anyone giving chase back away. So we touched on during picks and bans that David Arnaz was filling in for Swale in this one because of the roster change, but they're also going to be doing a role change as Archangel moved over to the mid lane, and Arnaz is actually going to be taking the support role in his stead. So going to the group stage is not necessarily an ideal situation for these things, but you know, when stuff comes up, sometimes you have to make do with what you're able to find.
Yeah, making do. Alright, back to that hunter situation on the left-hand side of the map. Transcendence, right? It scales incredibly into that last game, but Dev Gauntlets give you a nice, better round-out lifesteal. You're not getting lifesteal online, and until you've got, you know, more in your head. And you're not getting any early power spikes out from a starter item as well. Starter items, both of them... Oh, actually going to be a grab onto its Toad.
Yep. Damage, unfortunately, not quite there.
Yeah, so that's something else that you got to keep in mind, right? Only 7% lifesteal from the Spike Gauntlet, 20 Fizz power, 150 mana, 4 mana per 5. So there's a decent amount of mana per 5 on that one. And also, Transcendence being picked up right here at 2,900 right now. And I feel like Little Legend's got enough gold in hand to be able to go back and pick up his Devo Gauntlet. So we'll be seeing that one come online. But he's got a Death Toll, 15 Fizzy power, 90 health. So he's got a lot more health. He's nowhere near as squishy in these early fights.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're going to be even stacking these up as well, so it's no little, like real power spike coming out. It's still just going to be down to that sustain. Once the supports kind of leave lane for a little while, how is that boxing back and forth going to go? I mean, Warchi has the Impale, can hit through the wave. He hits that Impale on a Shifting Sands pillar as well. That's extra damage from the pillar, as well as some free hits going on to Little Legend. So the trading back and forth, they have to be careful with how they look to do that. But at the same time, Little Legend, if he doesn't commit to a fight, he can just say, you know, I'm just going to sustain back up any little incidental poke you put onto me. Inside, a little bit of a skirmish breaking out, but Phalles is once again able to sneak out, not getting killed. The escape artist out of the jungle in this game, it seems.
Oh man, I just throw back to Appointed Gnome at that level 1, right? That double man driving strike was what set up that first block.
Yep.
The other problem that you do have when you're picking up the Transcendence, because you're going for the tier 2 item first, right? The Charged Morningstar, I believe the item's name is. Yep. You're picking up 3 of each potion because you have 300 gold sitting over. So you're picking up 3 health and mana, 3 mana potions. Ojo Boom's getting engaged on by 2, not plucked, and that's the important part. He's at least got the Rain Dance, and now through space and time means that 2 more are going to join.
You're a little too far behind them. The portal will miss on Appointed Gnome, so once again, dual lane of soul lane rather of Moonman with the jungler being present will survive that gank attempt coming out from the Poppies. They're trying to make use and make sure that Ojaboom is getting kind of ahead in that lane, but so far every attempt has failed.
Yeah, and Appointed Gnome is not easy to kill anymore. He's very, very tanky already. Ojaboom's onto a steel mail. There'll be a mystical mail online for him very, very quickly, but for now, Boots too. Warrior Tubby makes a Hercules really, really tough to gank. All the mobility, driving strike you can use for mobility, knocking people onto towers, right? And then you've got bonus move speed. Really, really tough lane to gank.
Yeah, Phalles rush for that move tap. I look up some in-hand attacks as well. That doesn't mean earlier on. What is she actually maxing? Let's find out about that. It's going to be the Hammer Bash with like an extra couple points in Scourge. So in the middle of a fight, the in-hand's lifesteal will be a little bit higher when that Scourge is active. Hammer Bash, while it does do AoE damage, let's face it, in the middle of a team fight, very, very rarely will you find multiple people grouped up after the initial usage of that ability.
They're looking over for Warchi though. He did disperse away and immediately got picked up. King Toad did get a Cataclysm down, and also the Wrath of Terror was huge for Dana Narnaze. Taken to the skies, Apollo, and immediately slams back down to not burn any huge amounts of mana and keep himself safe at the same time. Nothing really happening on this left-hand side, and look at the stacking. It's actually going in favor of Little Legend, even though he went to base a little bit later. And that's Warchi that's going to cup out at 50 stacks, not 75. So this is huge going on for the Moonmen.
Yep, so things kind of interesting for the time being. Harpies were already just brought down. Gold Fury could be a point of contention going forward, but more likely than not, it's going to be on the back of a pick that a team really starts to look for that one. You can see the Ward and Vision battle kind of starting up over there as one was just dropped over the wall by King Toad. Taking a peek once again down at the items. Some different routes coming out. King Toad going for the Shoes of Focus and cooldown reduction, while Traveler Shoes coming out from Sylvanus. Oh, impaled into the wall. They knew that Gold Fury was going on, but now they're going for the fight, and King Toad may get picked, and will.
Whoa, he's so low. Dalo will pick that one up with the cats, and that sort of help. Now that portal through space and time. Warchie's in front of Little Legend. He got portaled up and didn't get impaled against the wall. He's going to live through this one, and now Phalas is here to turn this fight around.
Damage coming out. It is only a 3v4, however, health bars are low. Rapier, are you going to hit that damage? Good disperse from Warchie to avoid what could have been otherwise a kill. Thales is well going to fall through that portal. Beads will avoid the damage, however, so he will survive. Close calls coming out across the board right now as Appointed Gnome arrives to the fight, but Poppy's already said they're done with this one.
Ojo Boom could clean up a tower if they're quick enough about this one. Moonmen will have to clean up the Gold Fury, and look where they're immediately heading. Little Legend, he can lifesteal off this one. And there's also the sustain coming through from the mitigate wounds. They've got so much more ability to fight this one, but Blink Cataclysm.
Archangel portal to the wall will live. Wrath of Terror comes out. David Arnaz driving strike, stun the baseball for the kill. As now it's Dalo coming in trying to stop this Gold Fury from being started up once again. The Razor Whip coming in for that bleed will deter the attempt as once again the fight breaks out. This time it's Moonman coming out with the kill. But the Gold Fury fight has again been reset. But look what just happened over in that soul lane. Ojo Boom got that tower you're talking about.
Yeah, and Moonmen needed to get that Gold Fury on the left-hand side to trade out for that tower. Ojo Boom, Mystical Mail, shoves waves incredibly hard, and a Death Toll in hand as well is definitely going to help you to get that tower down nice and quickly. And look how tanky he is. Look at that health bar already at this stage. He's almost at 2k health, and he's only level 11.
Yeah, he's going to be tanky to say the least as the game goes on. Mid-Harpies once again, Poppy's looking to clean those up. As right side, nobody nearby for Moonman to clean up that one. It's going to be 2-0 for the Poppies as far as Harpies are concerned. As a bit of a standoff occurs once again. We'll see if they look for this fight over that Gold Fury. We saw it last time, got him as the ward battle started up. There's a Sentry Ward in hand of Arnaz. He'll have 2 to bring down. He'll be there for a little while, but there's no one really there to stop him unless King Toad and Little Legend make a quick rotation over. He's actually going to drop it down and leave it for the time being. There's a Sentry Ward sitting there. They should... Was that a Sentry or is that a regular ward? I can't tell. That was a regular ward, so... They're just waiting to get vision. They don't want to establish full control yet, which kind of indicates they're not looking for a Gold Fury fight at this immediate moment.
I'm getting a Sentry Ward and a regular ward icon coming down on the map from Moonmen, so they're thinking about it, and Phalas is over the wall as well, hitting Toad. David Arnaz has got the dart damage coming through from the west to clean that one up. Little Legend, Phalas, he's here. Little Legend's going to clean it up. Warchie is going to drop, and now the through space and time, trying to get everyone in here.
Rapio connects with the Emma Monster for the hit. Second one about to come on in. Will it connect for damage? No, it will not. Just a couple minions for that one. Ojo Boom is here. Phaley's now in a 1v3. Will the escape artist once again survive? Stormcall comes on out. That's a silence as she's juking around, trying to avoid the hits, trying to stay alive. Will Bellona survive this engagement? Still alive. Archangel with an unstable vortex says no.
But now check this out. In comes the Apollo across the skies, looking for damage on a Dalo. He's a tank from death.
Sentinel.
One more end. He dodges it. The Jukes. Ojo Boom. Is he gonna live? No, there's no way he can get out of this. Or is there? Little Legend's gonna finally confirm that one. But Dalo, the god, the Juke Master, lives. Oh, that was insane juking potential from him.
That was a long fight. That respawns for Little Legend and King Toad back up. They're back in the fight as well. They could look to force a Gold Fury fight right now. Ojo Boom is dead. David's on his way back. Warchie's here as well. They're aware of this going on right now. The ward battle once again still continuing. There were no sentry wards placed down by the Poppies because, like you touched on, they haven't really been looking for it. There was a regular ward placed down that has since been removed by Moonmen. And this is all going to come down to where these teams going to look to start to really get a lead going. You look at the graph, it's kind of been not really a back and forth quite yet. Moonmen got that early first blood and kind of a slow decline going forward. 2 extra kills getting picked up by them, but Poppy's doing a little bit of a better job farming up with those mid-harpy camp controls so far.
Yeah, so they're just a lick ahead. It's not too much. You've also got to remember that they've got that tower down on the right-hand side of the map, and not really seeing any teleports. Well, actually, Ojo Boom, I lie, is going to be the one to pick up the teleport. So Hercules has got the power to go for a choice. Blink in, looking for the Wrath of Terror on towards Little Legend. He's going to live. And look at this, Phaler, King Toad. This combo's working again.
Little Legend is out of mana. Be careful. Dalo able to pounce out of that one as the fight sort of commences. Desert Fury comes in out from Warchie. Looking to make a withdrawal, but Appointed Gnome is here. Ojaboom, yeah, this is Ojaboom on Chaac is here as well, but kind of a little bit of a lull in the action. A monster from Rapio doesn't connect for any damage. So a bit of a standoff right now. They could potentially look to force a Gold Fury fight. They have vision. They have that Sentry Ward down. They know there's no ward immediately in the pit, but they're just looking to get Papis away from that tower and look for the fight elsewhere.
Oh, they've got the pluck. They're looking for a knockback on towards David Arnay, King Toad. They'd find a multiple member Cataclysm, but now he's in trouble. Ojaboom's got him locked down and under control. Failers is dropping incredibly quickly. He needs Scourge online, and he hasn't got it. They aggro the Gold Fury. That's what Failers was trying to do, but Ojaboom's on a double. What else can they find here? Could it be a Pointed Gnome?
In the backline, health bars for Papis getting quite low. Pointed Gnome about to fall. The body block. Archangel stopping him from running away. Dalo picks up that kill. Rapio over the wall. Crush finds a kill. Finds a second with the Gold Fury attack onto Warchi. Rapio doing can 1v5 to stop this Gold Fury from happening, but Sentinel over the wall forced to retreat. Ojaboom still trying to tank this one up. Apollo lands from across the skies onto Archangel with Rapio here to help out. Sikkim would secure this kill. It's not going to connect. Transitions applied for movement speed boost. The portal through the wall, not getting out this time.
Dalo is the only one to manage to dodge out from Little Legend so far, and they're gonna trade down the mid laner Archangel. He's gonna die, but at least they get the Gold Fury. Ojaboom's on that one. And with his good buddy Dalo, they confirm it, so they're at least a slight bit ahead at this moment. Teleport, I expect to see that upgrade starting to come through from Ojaboom. Be really weird to not see him upgrade that at this time, significantly reducing that cooldown and putting some pressure on that right-hand side. If they can get an inner tower at this point in time, look at that. They could open the map wide open, and that would really secure that mid lane tier 1 tower for them as well.
I find as well, we'll talk about that shifting sands pillar Warchi threw down initially. He was looking for the stun on Appointed Gnome. I don't think it was an intentional pillar to stop the driving strike from coming out, but it stopped David Arnaz from getting pushed as far back into the enemy lineup as he would have otherwise been. Had that shifting sands pillar not popped up at that exact position, he would have been pushed back further. His health bar was very low and likely would have been burst down in that fight. But because he's able to stay up a little bit longer, him and Warchi were in the backlines of that fight, low on health, but alive nevertheless. Extra Cecil Wisp coming out, extra verdant growths being thrown around as well. And it just kind of kept him alive long enough, so whether it was intentional or not that the shifting sand pillar saved his life, it worked out really well for them in that particular instance. They got the Gold Fury in a backup, they kind of answered evenly trade for trade as far as kills are concerned, and, you know, it's going to be interesting for this game matchup. It's close. Look at the graph on this game. Moonmen had that early lead. They're not necessarily losing the game badly. It's really just down to that tower they picked up in the right lane and that Gold Fury, and gold is otherwise reasonably, it's like 1,000 gold lead otherwise.
Look at those spikes back and forth. The recent significant spike coming through from the Papis was because they got that fight victory and turned it into a Gold Fury. So that's at least something in their favor. You mentioned that right-hand tower going down. And let's start to see where this goes down, because remember, if Appointed Gnome's over here on this right-hand side of the lane as well, he hasn't got a teleport online yet. He's yet to decide what he's going to go for. Is it going to be a beads? What is it going to be? You know, he hasn't decided. Ojaboom, he's already committed. But you know, he's trying to force his opponent over here right now. Look at this. The in-hands are starting to come in and Appointed Gnome, well, may not be able to do too much.
That was in-hands and the Mystical Metal taken away. He's tank. He has the Rune-Forged Hammer completed. He has that Mitigate Wounds. There's really not much kill potential in the 1v1 solo lane. It's the island. It can get boring, so unless one of them actually falls asleep at the keyboard, they're not going to be able to kill each other over there.
Yeah. Wow. Check this out from Archangel as well. Doomorb at 44 stacks. Book of Thoth on the side of Rapio, though. Book of Thoth, not something I'd normally expect to see coming through from a Scylla.
She's looking for the big damage spike. It's 100 magical power when you pick it up. Actually, you can build more stacks up on it as well. It's not nearly as big of a portion. It's not a case like Heartseeker where you need, or Doomorb where you have to have those stacks to actually have the item be effective. It's something like 80% effective just for buying the item. You get a little bit of extra on the top of it. It's a nice damage spike coming out. It's not like a Warlock Sesh either where, you know, I need 80 stacks to where this item is like really good as far as gold is concerned. So she has that spike coming off of that one. The Obsidian Shards being worked towards. The tier 2 has 22% magical penetration as well. That's going to be a nice little damage spike on that one. It's a safer route as well. She doesn't have to worry about getting killed once or twice and losing half the stacks on, say, Doomorb.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've always thought of, like, I'm always one of those people that just loves to build, like, 3 stacking items. But,
those people. I forget who it was new game back in Season 1. Someone did that and just, like, bought every single stacking item in the game, and just, like, they won with it. It worked actually surprisingly well. Fortunately, nobody actually decided that was going to be a thing, so it remained just a once-off SPL shenanigan, but nevertheless, like, it can be a decent thing. If the game goes long enough, you actually build those stacks, get those items built up, and then later on capitalize on the fact that stacking items tend to be pretty darn gold efficient.
Oh yeah, and the reason stacking items are gold efficient, right? You don't get gold from them straight up. They're not straight up efficient. You've got to build up the efficiency. Block on a Dalo! Wants to pounce away, but Ratha Terror onto 3 from Donovan Arne.
And he's in the middle of a lot right now. Drop through a portal. Stone Shield will avoid most of that damage. Now the fight does fully on commence. Hunters are making their way over. Apollo could take to the skies and join up more rapidly if he decides to go that route. But both teams will disengage. They threw a lot out there. Every ultimate on that side of the map, with the exception of the Cataclysm, burned in that fight.
Oh, King Toad still with the Cataclysm, so that's some significant counter-engage, and you got to keep that in the back of your mind for this next sort of minute and a half before any of these ultimates start to come back online. Gold Fury is literally about to spawn. We're 20 seconds away from a Gold Fury, and there's only going to be 3 ultimates up on the map.
Yeah. They don't necessarily have to rush for the Gold Fury as soon as it spawns. We saw last time Poppies were kind of waiting for the right opportunity to go ahead and start that one up. Same thing with Moonmen. They knew they had the vision control of. They didn't want to rush into that fight as well because they have a very strong initiation. They have a strong early game fight inside the Poppies as well. As we move more to the mid game, however, Ojaboom with that Chaac, I don't necessarily want to say he hasn't been a factor in these fights. I mean, look at the damage numbers coming out. Yes, a lot of that is just slapping a point to Gnome around the lane, who he immediately heals that back up. Look at the healing number on the graph. About half that damage on Ojaboom has just been completely mitigated. That's a Sylvanus, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong side of the throat. And you can actually see the self-healing numbers. What am I talking about? Thought I was going somewhere with that. Yeah, but nevertheless, mitigate wounds. We saw so many times when they were slapping each other back and forth, and the point of Gnome's health was dropping, and suddenly it's going back up because mitigate wounds came off cooldown. So Ojaboom, yes, he's high up on the chart. He's 3rd overall damage of the game, but a lot of that is just quote-unquote fake numbers, that just damage number padding, if you will. But he's been present in these fights, so it's not just a case of, he's been farming up in lane like Hercules wants to do. He's been here. He's making use of that early game pressure that Chaac does provide.
Yeah, and I mean, we've already talked about multiple times the fact that he has already picked up that first tower. King Toad, roll out, he's looking for Watchy, great disperse comes through, but now there's a Cataclysm.
Yeah, drop down, there's a grab into the point to Gnome to keep him away. Eagle's Rally catches him and David with the stun, but the fight is getting scattered across the wall. Little Legend in the middle of 3. I'm a Monster connects on Archangel for big numbers. The Boulder coming out, looking for the kill, point to Gnome, finds in the backside of the camera. Little Legend across the skies is a long channel time. Didn't manage to live long enough to actually fly away.
And look at this. Failers is still alive, and so is Watchy and David Arne. They will at least have Wisp when they reconnect up with Ojaboom, who's still trying to do what he can. He's going to use that axe to try and get out of here. David Arne is there. Wisp's about to come online. Oh, Failers, they got the pick. Great job appointed.
Yep, looking for one more to close out this run. We will believe, I believe will be the full deicide. Failures closes out the last one unofficial because respawns had come out in that fight.
Nope, Watchy and Dalo never died.
Sneaky people back into base. We can pretend. So it's actually not official deicide. Back into base now counts as a kill, just saying.
But down comes that disarm on towards Dalo, trying to find the kill on towards King Toad. He's still 1 hit away! Disperse forward! They're not quite going to find him. Dalo at least got the declaw coming through, but now Pointed Gnome is looking for them. Failers has got the ultimate back, and Pointed Gnome rocking everything out into the skies. Apollo, he's not needed.
Archangel's on his way to make sure they aren't starting up this Gold Fury right now. We'll drop down a ward, start the counter warding over here as well. Third shot will come out, drop a portal as well to make sure he can't be chased down and Earthbreaker / driving strike to his demise. But yeah, for now they'll have to pick up some more sentry wards and look at Moonman's inventory. Look at the Papa's inventory. Sentry wards all over the place.
Yeah, this is going to be a ward vision control battle for this next Gold Fury. Start to take a look at these golden XP graph again. XP now starting to significantly favor Moonmen. They've got Rapio, they've got on that Scylla, they've got Failures on Bellona, and Little Legend Apollo is a significant force late game. Appointed Gnome able to heal. They're going to need some sort of anti-healing. King Toad as well. Look at the comp that they've built. They're starting to really hit their stride with this comp. Being able to cleanse anything just from an ability without on any one that you so choose, that's one of the strongest abilities in the game.
It'll definitely be useful to say the least. Sylvanus doesn't have that same luxury, but he is able to heal his entire team up with his Wisp, so it's nothing to scoff at. We'll see exactly how it plays out though as the game does continue. It's close so far, 14 kills to 9 in favor of Moonmen, but look at that gold difference. Despite a lot of extra kills on the board, just between farm and an extra objective or two, Poppies managed to hold on to the gold lead.
Yeah, just slightly, and now they're looking at this Gold Fury on the left-hand side of the map. Check this out on Hercules' side of things. He's picked up a Weakening Curse, still only a level 1 teleport from Ojo Boom. Well, he's now got a more effective item slot, and they've both opted to go for Hog 3 as well. There's no fists online for either of these solo laners looking for stuns in the middle of team fights. Weakening Curse from Pointed Gnome, stopping that healing from Ojo Boom, David Arnay, and Warchi's lifesteal as well.
Yeah, Pointed Gnome with that Weakening Curse pickup basically has just ways he's been playing as well. So you know what? I'm farmed enough. I don't need to sit in solo lane anymore. I don't need a teleport because I don't plan to be over there much anymore anyway. I don't care that the tier 1 tower is still up. I can get that whenever I so please later on in the match because it will fall very, very quickly. It's 500 gold. We don't care. We need a Weakening Curse to provide anti-heal. We want to make sure that Sylvanus and Chaac are not able to sustain for the duration of the fight. Warchi as well with that Asty online. When those hunters get low, if they're actually able to attack with that passive active, their health can shoot up very, very quickly. Weakening Curse will shut that down as well.
Well, starting around on towards this Gold Fury once again. Warchi poking on towards it. They've aggroed it a couple times and de-aggroed it. A Pointed Gnome's still looking for that pluck potential, something to start off a fight. He's the one you got to keep an eye on. If he ever finds anything Archangel was caught there, that would have been a fight breakout. Straight away, blink in!
As the fight commences, Weakening Curse thrown out already. King Toad in the middle of this one does get knocked out to safety. Rapio drops down the Young Monster for a good amount of damage. Dalo finds the left-hand side of the fight, looking to chase down Hercules. Ojo Boom in the middle of a lot of members of the enemy team. Hercules will drop down some damage. Shifting Sands cuts off the chase. Ojo Boom doing a good job zoning for the time being. Poppy's withdraw, but the health bar is getting quite low and ragged across both teams right now. Poppies can heal up though and look to re-engage here in just a moment.
And a really, really nice pick from the Poppies as well. Yeah, they can heal up and re-engage. They've got the Wisp that can really do them some nice job. But they've picked off Little Legend, and that's the reason that they're still hanging around this Gold Fury with their health as it is at this point. Rapio, he can find some from resets, and that's the major thing. King Toad blinks forward. They're looking for a fight.
And Driving Strike does come out. Dalo very low, pouncing straight back out. David Arnett is low, forced to back off as well. They're looking for the damage. They do not have their Hunter here to dish out that overtime damage they so badly need for this fight. Poppy's sort of forced off the Gold Fury. They delayed it. They're thinking about maybe drop down a pillar, maybe have Ojo Boom just tank it back up. But for now, it is going to be David Arnaz going back to base. They do have a hand of the Wrath of the Gods rather on Ojo Boom, which means they can secure that Echo Skew. Warchi meanwhile just life stealing and heal himself up with the Gold Fury, who's not entirely sure what is going on and why she keeps getting attacked every 2 seconds, then let go and then attacked again.
Don't annoy the Gold Fury over and over and over. That's a bad idea. Eventually, she will have a Wrath of... And that actually happened in one of the Oceanic Series games. Gold Fury ended up getting 3 kills in a single game at one point. Gold Fury got a triple kill. It was attributed to the Anhur in the end of things, played by Ginger. But, Gold Fury, all the Anhur did was he walked in and he threw a Desert Fury, which ticked once on all 3 members that died. That's all he did. And then the Gold Fury did the rest of the work.
We saw that last week. Someone leapt over the wall, aggroed the Gold Fury, and then died horribly. We also saw a couple weeks back, Fire Giant got 3 kills in a row, one after the other, and they're still trying to desperately fight the things. It's a matter of principle at this point. We decided to kill you. We're gonna kill you, even if it costs us our entire team lineup. I think Fire Giant, fun fact, Challenger Cup is something like 4 and 500 overall, something like that. He hasn't had a good run.
I have a feeling it was an Ola. Yeah. Yeah. Gold Fury stats. Ugh. Well, at least he gets some kills. That's pretty. Oh, you got some kills. We're happy for you, Gold Fury.
She's very confused. There's this pillar in the way. She's trying to get over there and kill Warchi, and it's not working. She's not sure why. And once again, reset. She is so confused at this moment. Spinning around, turning around back and forth so often, gonna start getting dizzy and just fall over and say she's done. Maybe fly off, say, what, I'm done. You're not getting my gold. I don't care. Just take it. I don't care anymore. Once again, started up. Poppies want this fight, and Moonmen are just we know you want this. We don't want to fight yet, especially because our group is not here. Rapio! That was a 3. That was just crazy. Burst down.
He just got plucked up. Hercules is going in. King Toad's going to find a Cataclysm on the only Archangel, and he's in a wall of her pillar. Sorry, portal through the walls, at least going to leave him alive for now. Little Legend took the stairs. He's going to slam back down. Gold Fury this time, I think, will at least have a moment for cause of lack of confusion. Failures, he's chasing David Arnay.
They're doing the same thing too. Little Legend just wants this poor Gold Fury today. David Arnay's backside of this fight did get spotted out and caught on Wrath of Terror. Finds a 3-man knockup, but may fall anyway. I'm a monster. Will connect for damage. Mid Earthbreaker throwback. Through space and time. Does clip Little Legend for a decent chunk of damage. Long range. That was a full 200% scaling on that one. But for now...
Did you see that?
This,
Archangel was thinking about coming through the portal, and Phalas and Rapio were sitting there waiting for him, but Ojo Boom was the one to take it. Phalas is on towards, and they're doing what they can. They want to get in on this one. He does have the Hog 3. So much damage on towards King Toad. He's really got to be careful. Archangel was looking for another Unstable Vortex to DPS what he could, but he takes a portal out of there. And again, this Gold Fury has been annoyed, and she has again not been slain.
The Legend will go lifesteal off the minions in wave this time. I mean, I'm sure the Gold Fury is very happy about that. She gets a moment to kind of regain her senses. You see, she's sitting down. She's just completely tuckered out after this long fight. Look at that. Just like, I'm done, guys. Just like, wipe the sweat off my brow. It's been a really rough past few minutes. Talking about the Gold Fury, kills happening left side. Little Legend gets picked up by Warchi, who's now trying to find a double kill here onto Rapio. Stone Shield will be applied, and Warchi turns tail, not wanting to run into that team lineup. Ojo Boom in the back line,
Ojo Boom. Thinking about it, he's going to toss that axe. That was the Cataclysm forced out from King Toad, so that one's not going to be available. This is definitely a Gold Fury finally going to go the way of the Puppies. Finally.
Are you sure?
Gnome, though. He's got other ideas. He's thinking about it. They might reset this one as he starts to run in and driving strike against the wall. Phalas has got the ultimate down. Puppies will get that Gold Fury. Yay! Thanks for that one. A pointed gnome, though. He's in trouble.
David Ardas gets picked up the kill as Dalo gets number 2 on Phalas, now looking to give chase and find some more people in the jungle, but everyone else has gotten far enough back away that it's really not a big concern. Rapio low on health. Dalo was looking for the Pounds declaw combo for the kill, but a little too far away was Rapio able to survive. Tier 1 tower, however, finally, it's something other than the Gold Fury being looked at on this map. It's like change of scenery, but they're destroying said scenery.
It's just good to be looking at something. Do I detect a hint of crabs in the background on that beach?
There may have been. We saved those for special occasion.
Little Legend, though, he did come a long way forward. He could be in a world of trouble. Did not grab him from David Arne. That was really close, though. If he didn't use the moves right there, he was definitely dead. Rapio, he senses death, and he wants to find it.
Yep. Some grouping coming up. Poppies have gained a rather definitive gold lead at this point. 7,000 on the back of that kind of absurdly long Gold Fury fight. It was a roughly 5,000 gold fight in the back of the kills in the Gold Fury and the 2 towers they picked up. So it worked out really, really well for me, despite it taking like... I wish I could actually like look on this graph when exactly that Gold Fury fight started. I'm pretty sure it was like 10 minutes ago at this point. Crazy, crazy long one, but nevertheless, look at the items starting to get built up on these guys as well. Or like, oh, folks, the Gold Fury is getting started and not started and started and not started. These guys were still farming up. They were getting kills reasonably consistently, and the items were really starting to build up. We're 30 minutes into this match as well, despite it not feeling like it.
Yeah, it's pretty significant to say that we've been talking about the Gold Fury for such an extended period of time that 30 is now ticked over on the clock. Mystical Mail was online from level 1, but now it's into a... sorry, not from level 1. Gee, Ojo Boom, if you'd pulled a Mystical Mail at level 1, that would have been OP. Anyway, he's transferred into a Spirit Robe, Warrior Tarbai, and a Yotunes now, and he's looking to grab that Smithy's Hammer, so he is just going to be a tanky threat, able to sustain significantly through this fight. Look at the items online for both of our junglers, though. Mage Eyes, Ikoval, and a Frostbound Hammer. That is one hell of a Bellona that you're never going to be able to get rid of.
She's going to be sticky, to say the least, as not much going on at the moment. I'm hoping that something happens before the Gold Fury respawns, although he may have a repeat of the past 10 minutes or so. We may see the same thing with the Fire Giant. That's a Fire Giant. That's like big, exciting stuff, and he throws boulders at least. He's not just standing there confused like, yeah, no, this isn't happening. Boulder to the face! I'm a Hercules. I like him. I'm gonna take tricks out of his book. Maybe some Agni tricks as well. He's like, I'm gonna change it up my own little thing. I'll derive some work instead of actually having stuff rain from the sky, like pits of lava boil up from within the ground. Crazy, crazy stuff that Fire Giant can pull off sometimes.
I really miss the lava pool throughout the entire of the Fire Giant pit. That was like one of my favorite effects on the map. Man, oh well, I'm not going to see it anymore. I really wish they'd bring that back. Anyway, Phalas is going to get his Mage Eyes burned out at the start of this fight. Look at that damage from Archangel. That's one spell. He's got to go and sustain off something.
Yeah. With that point in the game where the damage numbers of those mages are going to be huge, that was with the Soul Reaver proccing as well, so it wasn't just straight up he's hitting that hard. But nevertheless, the Bellona is reasonably tanky. She has a Frostbound, she has that Maginus Blessing. Not necessarily like full, like semi-tanky, not even really hybrid. She has that Ichival. She's building up towards, I'm going to say Winged Blade. It could be a Witchblade. Witchblade was just buffed as well. You have that Chaac to deal with Bastet and the Anhur as well. reasonably heavily reliant on in-hand attacks on the side of the Poppy, so it could be a Witchblade. I don't think we've seen any popped up since the buff on Tuesday, but you know, it has to happen eventually. Most people just say, yeah, it wasn't up a buff, we're not going to pick it up anyway.
And it's such a strong item onto a Bellona as well. Like, think about it. Movement speed, attack speed, power, health. Bellona just actually, it's not power, it's not what I'm thinking of. Cooldown reduction. Just like all the stats that a Bellona really wants. She wants to be able to stick to you. She's got Frostbound Hammer for that. She's got Boots to try and stick to you. Wing Blade as well. Being able to get that bonus movement speed, cooldown reduction on the ultimate, cooldown reduction on the burst of damage from the Scourge, from the Bludgeon. You know, being able to dodge, regularly blink into Wrath the Terror is going to fight too.
Boulder bouncing all over the place right now, doing a lot of work. Backside fight, a Little Legend, very caught out by 3 members of the Poppies. Will fall. Dalo gets that one in the books. The rest of the fight's kind of scattered right now as Archangel was forced out after diving very deep behind enemy lines. Warchi gets caught out right now. Rapio finds the answer kill on Dalo, but Ayaz gets picked off as well by the Bleeds. That's a shutdown first of the game. That's going to be 9-1 and 7 though for Rapio. Ojaboom, we talk about Chaac not being a Hercules late game, but it's looking pretty similar to that with both the point to Gnome and Phales beating on him. To be fair, they're not really damage dealers. They're the frontline bruiser tanks, and Ojaboom wasn't too worried about any of that damage from them.
Yeah, Ojaboom was just like, yo, rain dance. I like this. Maybe he's one of those guys that sing in the rain, right? We should have Hindu come in like about now and just sing us his rendition of Singing in the Rain, just for Ojaboom.
Either pop on and do it, or he's like cursing us right now as he's gonna hear it pop up on the stream in like 10 seconds or so. So he's listening on the stream. He'll be a little bit delayed if he does decide to do that, but we'll see what happens with that. It's been a long, slow game. Yes, the gold figure was brought down in like 2 seconds flat this time. We're not gonna have that silly, absurd dance going on.
No.
There's the answer to that one, guys.
Please.
We had the what was it? Let It Go. You did do do do.
Let It
At
Go.
one point, there's other stuff that apparently. If you want to check out more of Hindu singing, you can search for the Smite musical interlude. It is up on YouTube. Hindu and Dry Bear doing a lovely duet. It was beautiful.
Oh.
It was beautiful.
You know what else is is that the do 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 do? Is that
was
that
the
one?
encore. That was the encore.
Yes.
It was some good stuff. Apparently not to happen today, however. Disappointing stuff. I know. Look at Chad's like everyone's sad now. Way to go, Hindu. Way to go.
Way to go. You've like ruined everyone's day. Look at him. He's go back to the SPL, you big meanie.
Yeah.
Don't want you here.
Exactly.
What are we going to come up with a rendition of? We're going to come up with a rendition of Poppy's Steel Fire Giant, Moonmen Steel Fire Giant.
No, my renditions of anything turn into just a remix of the 1980s classic Nails on a Chalkboard. That should not be heard by human ears because they will bleed.
Well, fine though. It's going to take out. Gonna go on towards a Pointed Gnome. He's the focus. Cataclysm was on multiple targets. Beautiful from King Toad, but look at this. A Pointed Gnome's dead. He can't mitigate wounds when he's dead. Phales is gonna follow him into the grave. Poppy's fine too. Apollo finally joins this fight, but it's way too late. Frost used beads on a portal.
Yep, but he will get out with his live intact, however, which is what he was probably intending for right there. But once again, the big initiation coming from the Poppy is that Blink, Wrath of Terror in almost the same exact spot yielded almost the same results. The difference this time, the Poppy's in position to actually look for this Gold Fury fight. It's going to be down to King Toki in just a moment. There's the Rollock getting channeled up, looking to get in range to steal. It's a little too high for that right now. They need to look to burst him down. Health bar's Warchi, and they forced to disperse. A Little Legend waiting on the backside of that disperse.
And we were talking about stats of that Fire Giant. They're going up right now. Archangel's going to tag out Little Legend and clean that one. Ojaboom is tanking this, but he's solo. Puppies get Fire Giant, though, and they're going to be more than happy enough. Rapio is the only man alive. The only man not to get Fire Giant buff is, of course, Warchi. But that doesn't really matter when you win the fight and take the buff all in one.
Hindu brought this on himself, to be fair. He could have just sung a song and everyone would have been happy and overjoyed. But no, he said no. Poppies, though, secure themselves a 10,000 gold plus lead with the stats and the Fire Giant buff across 4 members. To be fair, it's not on Warchi, which is the one you ideally wanted on, but do they care? Right now, not looking like David, though. Getting focused in the middle of this fight. Eagles rally drop down. Boulder bouncing around. Phales finds the kill into David, as well as Archangel for the double.
Don't mess with this Bellona. You don't mess with her in general. Dalo did find that Phoenix, but now he's running for his life. He's in a world of hurt. Mage Eyes is back up online for him. Ojaboom in the front line. He's got Frostbound Hammer beating on him, but he manages to take an axe to get out of there. But, oh my god, was that... Was that an increased sprint? No, what was it? It was... Oh, it doesn't really matter. Dalo's dead.
Yeah. That they got the mid Phoenix, they got the Fire Giant just before that. Only the mid Phoenix being down, however, the siege potential from the Papis is, I don't say it's gone at this particular moment, but it's definitely significantly weakened. Moonmen are going to take this tier 2 tower more or less unopposed. Ward Chi is here to delay it a little bit. Actually, they really can't take this. Little Legend isn't actually here for the damage. They won't have it actually bring it down. With Ojibun coming back as well, they're not going to take this. I have spoken that regard.
Little Legend is going to get some split pushed on that right-hand side. He's finally going to make up for Appointed Gnome's failings and get this first tower on the right-hand side.
Yeah, you can look for it. I mean, the mid lane Phoenix is probably the... Mid lane and right lane Phoenix are the ones you have to choose between Phoenix to be brought down. Right lane, mid lane, it's like, yeah. I don't want the left lane Phoenix down because that's far away from the Fire Giant. With the
I'd take the right lane.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the way the map is laid out as well. It's kind of a toss-up between who's closer, but at the same time you have that wall you have to walk around, you don't have a leap over. So it's like, either which way. They'll be able to deal with it. It will be respawning in a few minutes. There's no real, they're not going to be grouping up in the next 30 seconds looking to take that tier 2 tower. If they do, Fire Giant buff is only on one member of the Papis. They can look to make a serious defense on it. They don't have to worry about like a Hun Bat sleeping over the wall. Yeah, Daylo can leap over with that Bastet, drop some cats down in the middle of the fight, but it's not a case of like, oh no, our entire team got caught by Fear No Evil, we're all doomed now. Blink, Wrath of Terror, yeah, could be potentially pretty devastating, but if he's not present out front that tower and he's looking to loop around behind, as soon as they see him like out of position, they can look to say, we're going to start the fight right here, we'll charge back in, spread ourselves out, and not get caught out by it anyway. So the tier 2 tower right lane can definitely be defended. And they have Little Legend on that Apollo. He can keep those fire minions at bay in both the left and mid lane and join the fight with Across the Skies when needed.
Yeah, but then again, it's not instantaneous. It is travel time, and the team can lose the fight in that duration. Failer's almost looking to get picked up right there. He will at least escape. But look at this from the Papis. The only member without 6 full items is going to be on Archangel. I keep looking at him and thinking, is that Swalo? Is that Archangel? Archangel's supposed to... No, it is Archangel. We're good. He's the only one without 6 full items. Every other member of the Papis have full items. Yep. So the 13k gold lead they currently have, it's next to nothing. Appointed Gnome, though, could be the focus.
Blinking in the back, Wrath of Terror only found Rapio to start the fight off. Ojibun tanking up that Phoenix. It is falling slowly but surely as damage starts coming out. War Chief with Desert Fury. Hellfire in the back, dropping. Appointed Gnome looking at chasing down, could not secure the kill. I'm a Monster will whiff in this instance as well. David on is still trying to run. Ojibun in the back line, though, deep found that kill on the Rapio.
Yeah, but the fight's going to continue to come out. Warchi was thinking about rejoining this. He's now run away. David Arnaz using the Wisp to keep everyone sustained up. Ojo Boom takes an axe to get the heck out of here right now. Warchi's coming in, and if he gets found out by Appointed Gnome, this could be trouble. But Papis are still looking to hang around here. They're going to fight this one.
A Little Legend right in the back found the kill into Warchi. This fight could be turning around right here, right now, as damage are going all over the place. Appointed Gnome barely surviving, Stone Shield onto him. Little Legend using beads to avoid getting hit by that portal. Will escape with his life. Is now who is going to survive? The Shockwave just saved the lives of both those guys. Second time around, the juke comes out. Little Legend solo Serenade says no sir, as Ojibun will secure that kill.
The problem with that fight for Moonmen was that Failers was forced to deal with the minions on towards the Titan onto David Arnaz. He's getting low, but that's the wrong target to focus. Failers, you need to be on Archangel. He's realized it. He's got the Eagle's Rally. The slam from the hammer doesn't quite land. He's still trying to stick to Archangel. Can he clean him up? No, it's going to be Ojo Boom that picks it up. Oh, Failers was so close, but so far. But now King Toe, can he save this Phoenix? No, he can't.
Gab, all the utility in the world, unfortunately damage not really present. So with that, mid Phoenix will fall again. Papis were able to pick up the right side Phoenix in that engagement as well. Like you said, Faylee's not being in the middle of that fight was kind of the big factor in that. She's been just that thorn in the side of Papis all game long. She charges forward to the front line. She's so difficult to kill, so difficult to bring down. Every time she's there, she's keeping somebody busy. She has that disarm. She has those absorb stacks from the shield bash. She's very difficult to kill. Without that lacking, I mean, it was a very, very good 4v5 fight for the Moonmen, but they could have won that if they had that 5th member, but they couldn't let those fire minions storm through to the Titan.
Yeah, Failers had to make a decision, and he went with the one that was defend the Titan. At least keep it alive. Keep it alive. Keep the game going. You can't let your Titan take free damage, and with thanks to him, it's sitting at full health, if very close to full health, if not 100% full health. But they've lost 2 Phoenixes. King Toad forced to run away, but Rapier is back alive here. They've got a little bit of a window, but Papis, look at them. They run towards this Fire Giant, and this is going to be trouble for Moonmen. We're at 40 minutes, and a Fire Giant at this stage means a heck of a lot more than it did 20 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, and this is going to be on all 5 members of the Papis as well. They're going to have it on Warchi, who's the important one. I mean, they made good use of, regardless of that, they got the mid-Phoenix, but if Warchi had it and was actually alive for that mid-Phoenix siege, they may not have lost 4 members of the team in the process of trying to take it. So with this across all 5 members, they can look to see group up. Okay, wait for the opportunity. We're not pressed for time. We have 3.5 minutes to work with right now. Just wait for the right opportunity. David Arnold will blink forward, pop that Wrath of Terror, try to find as many as possible. They don't have to rush things, and with that Phoenix on the left hand only really standing between Papis and the Titan, Moonmen have to mount a very, very strong definitive defense against what is now a much more powerful Papis lineup.
Take a look at this kill score between Moonmen and Papis, 22-23. For all the gold deficit that they've had throughout the entirety of this game, Moonmen are keeping it level on the kill score. That is impressive. Look at the objective control coming through from the Papis, though. 4 Gold Furies, 2 Fire Giants, and I'm going to say they've got a fair control over those mid camps as well, but they're down to just Phoenixes from the side of Moonmen. They've got 1 defendable structure alive at this point. If they don't keep this Phoenix alive, they'll lose the next Fire Giant. And if they lose the next Fire Giant, there's Fire Giant down right now. King Toad's going for engage.
They're going to look for it. This could be a risky play. Oh, Rapio burst in the middle of the fight, punching down, followed up short order. It's looking like this could be the game right here. It's going to be a 3v5 defense with everybody. Look at the health bars on the side of Papis. Warchi does get brought down by the Little Legends. This could be the one glimmer of hope they very much need as Bailey's leaps back in.
He's got that Eagles rally, and they're going to be able to fight inside it with increased power and gusto and whatnot, but that Titan, it's only at 25% health, and they're burning through it. Archangel does go down, but it's not enough, and the Moonmen are going to fall to the Papis. But with the kill score, 1 kill apart, Papis secured that game with their objective control. 100% of the objectives on their map in their favor. The only towers they lost were that left and that mid one.
Yeah. It was rough. A lot of that final fight came down to the amount of fire minions swarming into the base. The mid lane and right lane were kind of left to their own devices. It was a rough initial initiation coming out from Moonmen. It looked like it was turning around. They got Archangel, who's the other target they needed to kill. If there were no minions present, there was a real possibility that both Pheles, King Toad, and Little Legend could have held on and defended that Titan. But the number of minions there, they did not have any big, massive AoE clear to actually remove those quickly. And even if Rapio had been alive, fire minions would still not have been brought down by 1 single crush.
Yeah, but if they'd won that fight, if they killed off 4 and left somebody like, let's say they left David Arnay alive, at the worst possible thing they possibly could have left alive, Dalo was still alive. The ability to backdoor and mobility to keep himself alive and bait opposition members into chasing him to try and pick up his life as well. Rapio was dead. That was the major problem. He needed to be alive. He didn't get his ultimate off. There was no resets. There was no crushes. There was no Sickums in the middle of a fight. When it comes back off cooldown, are one of the most important spells, in my opinion, to land that doesn't do a huge amount of damage. Why? Locking people down, and especially at level 20, multiple people, is the best thing you can do when beads and mage eyes are on cooldown. As soon as you die, when that fight goes out, and he was the MVP for his team far and away, that fight was, as soon as he died, that fight was over.
Yep, that's the guys that can wrap things up for this one. Moonmen, definitely a team to keep an eye out going forward. They were behind by quite a large margin, but they did not let this game go willingly. They fought tooth and nail to the end. Unfortunately, they could just not keep their Titan up at the final fight. With that said, we're going to jump over to the other round 1 game out of Group B, and we'll see how that one plays out here in just a few minutes.